Hey guys, this video is for the classes that didn't get to meet on Monday because of the holiday. So this is what we went over on Tuesday with my other algebra classes, so I want to make sure you guys are aware of it so that you guys can do a great job on the assignment for Wednesday, or today because you're watching it right now. So we started talking about ratios. What you need to understand about ratios is basically that ratio is just a comparison of two values in fraction form. So most of the time the ratios are going to be written like a fraction, a over b, but they might also use this new notation, which is a to b. So if I were to say the ratio of girls to boys was 6 to 5, I could write it as 6 over 5, right? Or I could write it like this, 6 to 5. But what I want to make sure that I do is that whatever number is, or whatever I'm comparing first, I might want to label it off to the side. I'm comparing girls to boys. I might want to do that here. I might want to put G and B. Labeling is very important. Now, the reason we're going to talk about ratios is because we're going to talk about unit rates. Okay, a unit rate is just a ratio in which we divide it out. It's over 1. Because most ratios are in the form of a fraction. When we talk about ratios, whatever is written before the word per is my numerator. Okay? So if I say I want the conversion of this rate, I want to write 34 miles per every hour, I'm going to put miles over hours. So my ratio would be 34 miles over 4 hours. Now when we simplify that, that's 17 over 2. So this is my ratio. But if I want to turn it into what we call a unit rate, I just divide it. So that would be 8.5. So I'd say the unit rate is 8.5 miles per hour, but I would say the ratio is 17 to 2 miles per hour. So if we look at the next sentence, it says convert $36 every 5 hours into a ratio. Okay, so 36, we want to compare what? Dollars per hour. How much we get paid per hour. So dollars per hour. So it'd be 36 over 5. Which, when we divide that out, we get 7.2. So the ratio would be 36 over 5. But the unit rate would be 7.2. So a ratio is a fraction. When you divide it out, it becomes the unit rate. So if I look at the following screen, if I wanted to write the rotations per second, I'm going to put rotations over seconds. So that would be 2,000 over 40. And then I would simplify that out. 2,000 divided by 40 is 50. So I'd say the unit rate is 50. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and skip to the next slide. We also talked about proportions and how to solve them. To solve a proportion, all we do is we cross multiply. So top times bottom, and then the bottom times the top. And then we just solve it like a regular equation. Divide by 2, we get 15. Now let's go ahead and make it a little bit more difficult. What happens if we have multiple numbers in the denominator? We have to make sure we still cross multiply. 3 times 6 is 18. But now what I have to do is I have to make sure that this 3 multiplies with the entire 2x plus 3. So that's how I would set it up. And then I can finish it. Now for time's sake, let me see if I can get rid of that. There we go. So we have 18 equals 6x plus 9. Subtract 9 on both sides. And we get x equals 9 over 6, which is 3 over 2. Okay. Alright. Over here to cross multiply, again, same thing. We would make sure that the 2 multiplies with f plus 3. And then 7 times 12 is 84. And then we would go through and solve it. 2f plus 6. Take away the 6. 2f equals 78. And therefore our final answer would be 39. Okay. Alright. Now how would we use these proportions in a real life situation? What you would do is you guys use these proportions to figure out situations. So in this problem we see ratio. What's the ratio? It says sales to original. It's very important that off to the side when I set up my ratio I label it. So sales to original. S over O. Now they say the ratio is 3 to 4. So 3 goes on top, 4 goes on bottom. The number that's written first goes on top. Now we're going to set up our next ratio. Well, the original price is 64, so that's why we labeled it. O is original, so it's on the bottom. And we want to find our new price, which would be on the top. So we've set up our proportion. Now all we have to do to solve it is cross multiply. 3 times 64. I'm going to use my calculator because my brain's not working very well. We get 192. And over here we have 4x. And then we can just solve that. Divide both sides by 4. And we get a price of 48. Okay. If you set up your proportion wrong and you get a number that's larger than your original price, you know you did it wrong. Because think about it. We want the sales price. The sales price should be cheaper than the original price. Okay. So let's look at this situation. A map. On a map, the distance on map represents the distance in real life. They said that the scale of this map is that 1 centimeter represents 30 miles. So we would say centimeters to miles. 1 centimeter is the same as 30 miles. So now to set up our ratio, they say that DC is 110 miles. So we'd line that up with miles, and then we would just make our x to solve it. Okay, and you end up getting, if you do this correctly, 3.67. Now, why did I write my answer in a decimal? Because look at the directions. It says to the nearest hundredth. Okay. So the last slide that we did in class was this situation. We said, hey, there's a model of this car, and on the model, the scale is 2 to 17. What that means is the scale of the model to the original is 2 to 17. Model is written first, actual is second, so 2 and 17. The model is 5.6 inches wide, so we're going to line that up with M because M stands for model. And then we would just make our X to get our final answer. And if you do this correctly, you should get the following answer, 47.6. So again, if you want to see how it works out, you cross multiply it and then solve it. So use this stuff today to help you with the Delta math activity that you have to do. All right. Hope that helped. Again, if you ever need any extra help, my tutorial times are 9 o'clock in the morning. And you just need to give me an email the day before to let me know, and we can meet, and we'll meet in the Microsoft Teams area. All right, guys. I will see you guys later.